afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome all of you on behalf of Time Strategic Solutions Limited. And for joining us this evening for an exclusive session, which is a precursor to the ETSDG Summit. The summit will be held virtually on the 28th of this month. I would like to thank our esteemed chief guest. He's not here right now. He's getting a little delayed, but I would like to thank him for joining us and taking time from his busy schedule to be here with us. Before we start this evening, I have to state that I'm so happy to see this August gathering here. It reinforces in us the belief that we are now gradually moving to a new normal. In fact, as I stand here on the stage after nearly 18 months of virtual interactions, it feels a little different and odd, but completely refreshing. This evening we focus on the theme, Building Back Better. The discussion is relevant today more than ever as we all move back into a new normal and are still grappling with an uncertain future. The onset of COVID-19 and the harsh reality of the pandemic made it evident that human race cannot predict and control everything. It exposed our vulnerabilities, unpreparedness in the face of adversity. In April 2020, we had a hard stop. While this period had a huge impact on lives and livelihood, I believe it gave us some time to pause from the race that we were running. I believe it made us question our purpose and also realign our goals. ESG and SDG goals have gained great momentum in the last 18 months. While one has not been able to establish a direct correlation between COVID-19 and climate change, the crisis has taught us a lesson. It has reminded us about the power of nature and our frailty when exposed to such natural threats. We have seen through the pandemic that any crisis will have disproportionate impact on the poor and deepen existing inequalities. A recent study has shown that people are now more aware of climate change than they were before COVID-19. This heightened public awareness of the dangers of unmitigated climate change makes it important that all those who have been part of the Drive the Change story optimize this time to make impactful changes. Just like it took a global strategy of vaccination to try to combat the virus, we need a global strategy to drive the net zero objective as well. Let's keep in mind that the impact of climate change will affect all economies and people. Cooperation is going to be the key. It's because of cooperation between the scientific community, governments and private sector that we were able to come up with a vaccine within a year. Similarly, to combat climate change too, we will need all stakeholders to come together. The scientific community will play an important role. Technology, supported by great policies, will be critical. Governments all across the world have introduced mega plans to support the goal of net zero by the United Nations for Sustainable Development 2030. In fact, while India is at its cusp of growth and focused on providing better life for its citizens, our Honorable Prime Minister has earmarked a clear vision for sustainable India. We have seen that the Indian government has introduced some noteworthy initiatives to support the United Nations mission. To highlight a few numbers, India has reduced its emission intensity by 21% over 2005 levels. Our solar capacity has grown from 2.63 gigawatts in 2014 to more than 42 gigawatts in 2021. India stands at the 5th position globally for overall installed renewable energy capacity and has the largest renewable energy program to reach 175 gigawatts till 2022. These key achievements establishes India's commitment to ensure that we play our role in driving global goals. As I mentioned earlier, collaboration is the key. Over the last few decades, we have seen organizations adopt conscious business practices. Quite a few organizations that were consumed by profits over purpose have relooked at their business ethics. We have witnessed the advent of sustainable businesses. And today, along with our knowledge partner, Futurescape, we will release a ranking on responsible business. The study covers data of 200 companies on over 90 parameters. The report shall be released shortly by Shri Amitabh Kantji, followed by a felicitation ceremony of corporates as well as foundations who are doing great work in the sustainability space. This report is part of ETSDG Summit, which will be held virtually next week. The summit is our endeavor to bring together stakeholders from all across the globe, and we aim to drive awareness on a very critical subject. We have an interesting lineup of world-renowned speakers from who will be sharing their expertise and insights. We have over 2,000 delegates from all across the globe who will be joining us virtually. I would like all of you all to log in as well. Before I step down, I would like to share a John Cure quote that caught my attention. I don't want to protect the environment. I want to create a world where environment doesn't need protection. Profound words and food for thought for all of us. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.